Good evening, I'm Marla Ellerman. I'm publisher of Mobile Marketing and Technology Online. We're here at the Mobile Payment Conference with Travis Dulaney, founder and CEO of Push Payments. Travis, thank you for joining me.
Thank you, Marla.
We hear a lot about faster payments. What exactly is it and who offers it? A bank, PayPal?
You know, there is kind of a confusion a little bit that I think is happening in the marketplace, and it's happened for a number of reasons, and really it's an evolution, but it's really a service that today isn't offered really by the banks, but they want to offer it, and the Federal Reserve has sponsored something that is called the Faster Payment Task Force that I was a part of. And so over the next number of years, we'll see that kind of facilitate more. We actually have created a service that actually does this today and kind of first to market to really offer this type of service today. And so we actually do work with banks to enable them to do this type of service. So in essence, it is the same as a digitized ACH that banks can use. It can also be used by fintechs. What we've done is just mitigated the risk associated with the market and the Fed not being quite ready, right? So we've solved that for the market.
Why do businesses and consumers even need real-time payments?
Excellent question, you know, and the immediate thought when you think, okay, I want my money faster, but I don't want it to leave faster, you know, it's kind of devil's advocate a little bit, right? And so there is so many ways that you can really enhance productivity and enhance your efficiencies through real-time or faster payments. And what it really is, and at its root, is the digitization of all these payment processes that were never really digitized. You know, we've lived in a society that the marketing teams today have really done a good job at confusing our consumers to think, doesn't that already exist? Doesn't it work that way? I have Venmo, I can send you stuff now. But it's a very different thing to move money from a bank account to a bank account, right? And so what this does is it allows for stuff to move faster, but it really allows for the elimination of risk and allows to elimination of fraud in certain areas. Now it does mean that there's other areas that will show up in, but it's easier to manage and easier to control in that case, right? So there's lots of use cases that can be used, and there's lots of places where real-time payments and instant payments fit.
Okay.
Let me use a quick example,
Okay.
right? So everybody's probably drove down the street at some point in time and saw a tractor trailer sitting outside of a warehouse with his lights on and some guy sleeping in it. And you're wondering, what, did he get tired, right? Why is he sitting there? And I guarantee that most people have no idea why he's sitting there. And if it was on a weekend, I guarantee you the reason why he's sitting there, and the only reason why he's sitting there, is because that guy couldn't get paid, and he's not allowed to let that load be unloaded until he's paid for that load because ACH is processing that payment. Right? So he has to wait till Monday
To get the money.
Time
settled.
is money. And so when you can do things and manage things in an instant in exchange for value, for monetary instruments, then that's when things are faster, things speed up, commerce speeds up, and allows us to have better control over cash flows and have more liquidity where it's necessary.
So now that real-time payments are here in the U.S., all over the world and now here in the U.S., what is Push Payments doing to for the concerns of fraud and settlement?
So as I mentioned earlier, you know, it's really about risk management and fraud management. It really shifts where that shows up. We've eliminated the risk on monetary risk.
Okay.
Right? And so the way it works is there's no way to lose money from the bank perspective. So it's about managing that risk, right? And it's about mitigation of risk. Now fraud is a little different because it's no longer where it used to be. Because now it's moving so fast, it's more about identity. And it's more about validating who is who's sending and who's receiving, and having good processes around that and good control.
So tell me about the regulations around this whole new push service.
That's a very good question always, and whenever we talk about regulations and banks and networks and the like in our industry, you know, that's a staple that has to be there. And the biggest challenge is what we do today is almost the reverse opposite of what everything else works today. So most of the regulations that are put in place is to protect consumers and businesses alike against certain bad things happening. The problem is now they're actually against that same innovation that we're trying to fix, right? So because everything's in reverse, it's like the regulatory rules aren't in the right place. They have the right intention, they just need to be modified to support this type of payment.
Okay, this is my last question, Travis. Tell me what you think the landscape of the payment industry is going to be in the next 10 years.
Well, you could probably call me a little bit of a futurist, but in 10 years, a lot of things can change, right? And so I see largely what we are doing is digitalization of our payment industry, and I think that payments will actually go more in the sunset of the background, and most people won't realize that payments actually happen as much as they do now. Today, it's a action. You have to take it. Nobody wants to pay for anything, really. What they want is acquire services. So it will happen as a byproduct of you doing that. Uber's a perfect example of that. You don't think of Uber as a wallet, but it's really a digital wallet that can catch a taxi. But nobody cares about anything. They don't think about the payment. They just want to get in a car, go where they're going, and get there safely, and then they know there's a cost. Everybody knows there's a cost. It's on the phone, and you move on. So I think it's really about embedding payments in the business models of tomorrow and today, where they really are a byproduct of acquisition of goods.
That's great. Is there anything else you'd like to add and share with our watchers today, Travis?
No, I think that the only thing I will add is that we've got a number of innovative solutions that we're rolling out over the next couple of months that really are game changers for the entire industry. And one in particular, that it will completely change the way credit card processing is going to be handled, and it really provides liquidity for the companies that need it, right? Because companies struggle with their cash flow, and most companies that need to pay attention, that's not who they are. Like a restaurant, they can spend thousands and thousands of dollars putting on a beautiful dinner for hundreds of people, and then they don't get paid for what they just walked out and ate for days. That's just horrible. The cash flow that they have to have is crazy. And we're solving those problems. We're solving real problems in our industry. And so I say stay tuned for the next ones, because we will always be innovative. And we are really focused on our own industry and solve our own problems.
So how can our watchers get a hold of you if they want to go ahead and contact you?
Well, obviously you can go to www.pushpayments.com. And there's plenty of ways to get a hold of us. You can book meetings with us, you can schedule demos, and we have a team that's all ready to go through that, explain that to you, show you how you can implement it. And we really are an industry provider, so we work with processors, we work with banks, we work with insiders to allow these things to happen, right?
That's great. If you want it instant, you saw it here. Thanks for watching.
Thank you, Marla.
Thank you, Travis.